Hello guys, welcome to your 11th C++ tutorial. Sorry, I'm gonna just go ahead and first of all apologize for not uploading previous videos like early this week. And as I told you guys before, I have a schedule that keeps me kinda also on the edge, so bear with me. But I will make sure I make or I meet the how do I call this, the resource. I don't know the term to use for this, but anyway, I'll just release the videos that we're supposed to do this week. Okay, so today we are going to be leaping into loops. Okay, we're moving from our normal straight execution, decision making and variables. Now we are going to do loops, one of the very core necessities of programming. So loops, we encounter loops one way or the other in our lives. Okay, let me take me myself as an example. Say I wake up in the morning, and every day I wake up and I go for a lecture at a time, or every week I go for a lecture at a particular time. Now that particular lecture, I go for it over and over again. As long as I'm alive and I'm a student, then I keep doing that same thing. Okay, so it's kind of like a loop. I do the same thing over and over again. So basically that's what a loop is used for: repeating something or running repeatedly. So loops are necessary in computing, in as you might even say that's the core thing in programming, or per se, because if you want something to be done, let's say you are building an AI that should be cleaning. As long as there's dirt, you would run a loop. As long as somebody is hungry, feed it. There's these are you are going to run loops around all of these stuff. So you might argue that it's probably the core of the whole programming thing, but it's also easy to learn too. So today we are going to touch on the for loop, and I'm going to just go ahead and declare a variable here to use that to demonstrate, or to show how the for loop works. So int a is a variable I've declared, not initialized it. I'm going to go down here and write the for loop syntax. So this is a for syntax. You open this parenthesis. I'm going to put 2 semicolons inside, then open and close my curly braces. My editor does that nicely for me. So this is a very functional and correct syntax for loop. The only problem with this one is it's an infinite loop as we see it right now. If I happen to execute this or put something inside here within the for block, and then I execute it, let's say the for execute, how about this, then give it some exclamation here. Then if I compile and run this program, it will keep on executing as long as there are resources within our computer or our memory. So basically, let me execute, let me save this and compile and run this, and we see what I'm talking about briefly. So compile and run, and as you can, I don't know, you can see it. You can see it just keeps on running. Okay, it's executing down and down, and as you can see, my scroll bar is scrolling down and down. It's gonna keep going. It's never gonna stop as long as the machine is working and there are resources that can handle this particular program. It will keep on executing. So that is a for loop, but the only problem with this one is it's infinite. We don't want it to be infinite. We want to control the output. Okay, we want to control our content, how many times it should loop. We want to do that. So the first part, just before our first semicolon, is the loop initializer. Okay, this is where you initialize, where should the looping start. Okay, if it's to start from 0 to 9, then it's gonna loop 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. So if it's going to start from 1 to 9, the same thing, it's going to start from 1 and then up to 9. Okay, so the very first part is our loop initialization. So I'm going to initialize a here to 0. The second part is the Boolean expression, or the loop checker as I call it, because this part it's before your for loop executes, it comes to check or to execute or evaluate this particular statement within this between these two semicolons, to see the truthfulness of it. If it's true, then it will keep on executing, but if it's for the moment it's false, then it's going to spit out of the for loop, and that will be the end of the for loop. So the second part being a loop checker, I'm just going to what should we do in this program? Okay, let's just list even numbers. Okay, even numbers from 0 to 100 inclusive. How about that? I think that's okay, right? So we are going to list even numbers from 0 to 100 inclusive. I'll make sure that since we are listing from 0 to, we want to make sure that it's 100 or less than that number, so that our program doesn't go beyond 100. Okay, so the next part is the loop counter. This is where we increase, or this is what is increased every single time after it checks this and then executes this. After executing this block, then it increases the our counter by a particular specific value that we defined. So let me just write that for you, and then you see. So here we could write a plus plus. This one is going to increase a by 1. Okay, this one, meaning after it will first of all come and check. It says for a equals 0, then a less than or equals to 100. So it's going to say now a is 0 and then a is less than or equals to 100. So that's true. You go ahead and then in this particular code it's going to execute, therefore execute. Okay, then this will be output to the screen. The next thing it does is going to increase a by 1 here, making that 1. So the next time this one comes out and comes to the for loop again, this part won't be looked at. This is only executed once. Okay, this one won't be looked at. The only thing you'll be checking here now will be this. It will be make sure that a is less than or equals to 100, and then if the moment that one becomes false, then the for loop breaks. So the next one, it will be 1, the next one be 2, next one be 3. But here, if we are increasing 1 and then 2 and 3, then we'll have to go down here and increase a again before we get an even number. Okay, now before we do this to now get a, okay, so this way we are increasing a here, and then when we increase a, we come inside here and increase a again. Okay, so basically we are increasing a twice. So if you execute this program, it's going to jump, actually it's going to actually jump a, because it's going to jump a here and then come this 0 here. It won't be output to the screen. It won't be output because it will violate our algorithm, since we want to list all even numbers from 0 to 100 inclusive. So this one, the first one, if you execute this program, it will start 0 at 1, a at 1, because it's going to first of all move in here. It is, and then checks here, that is true, but comes inside, it increases a by 1. So what we could do to clean this up a bit will be to drop it below our CL here. Okay, so below here. Okay, so this is optimal. This is going to increase a twice and still giving us all our even numbers from 0 to 100 inclusive. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, let me just make sure, let me separate this so that we have a clean output here. So it just runs everything on the next line, new line, and that. So yes, so we have, as you can see, we have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way down to 100. Yes, exactly. Oh, all the way down to 100 as we expected. But this one, it looks like it's too tedious, right? Like, oh, it's not concise. Yes, it is. There's a better way to do this. Let's comment this out and then come inside here. All we could do is we set a to be equals to a plus 2, since even numbers in an ascending order or in this increasing order differ by 2, an absolute value of 2. So we can just do this and then it will still spit out. It will still mean that our a is now reassigned to our former a that we had. That will be 0 here plus 2. That means the new a will now be 2. So after executing this program here, after executing this line here, then the for loop is going to increase the a here, the a that we had is going to increase that one by 2, okay, and reassign that to a. So when it comes inside here, that a is less than or equals to 100, so that will be printed out here, and then we increase that same a by 2 and then reassign that to our a variable, come inside here, and that a will be 4, which will be less than or equals to 100, be printed. So it does the same thing over and over again. Okay, so now in as much as we could use this one, there's still an optimal way of writing this one, a shorthand way of writing this one to make it very, very neat. So that will be plus equals 2. Okay, so basically this says that a should be equals to a plus 2. It's the same thing as what we just wrote, or what I just changed. It's the same thing, and it's going to give us the same output with very, very interesting code. Yes, exactly. So here we are with the outputs 0 to 100, all even numbers, and we've achieved our aim. Now there's something I want to point out here. If I were to say deliver the how do you call it, the a value here, if I were to deliver the a value to the screen, what do you think we are going to get? Okay, this a value will give you something interesting, maybe something you didn't expect to get. So you would think, maybe, let me make sure I put this here. Okay, so you would think that the a will be 100, but no. The a here, as I said, the for loop works after the first execution. The second one, it only checks here and increases the value and execute. If this one is true, executes this, increase the value, and then comes back to check, execute it. If it's true, increase the value. Okay, so if it increases the value and checks and it's not true, then it breaks out of the statement. But bear in mind that the a's value then has still been incremented. So here when we get to 100, okay, a will be 100, and then when we execute that, it will be true. So we execute this particular block statement within this block here, then we increase a by 2. After doing that, then a becomes 102. When we come to our Boolean expression and evaluate it, it goes into false, but our a is still 102. So this should give us 102 as the a value. So let's let me write something equals this. So let's execute this and see what we have. Okay, a equals 102, as you can see, and that is understandable since we, after executing, after checking here, and then it gets to be true, we execute it, increase the value, then we come back to check, and if it is false, our a value doesn't decrease, it still remains that value, and then we carry that out into the program. So basically this is it for the for loop, and as easy as it is, you can use this combine nest for loops like how we nested if loops, and when we are doing multi-dimensional arrays, you see how important or necessary the for loop is in and we'll be nesting it in nesting for in accessing our particular content from our locations in a multi-dimensional array. So this will be it for this particular video tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Even if you don't enjoy it, make sure you smack that like button. And then if you have any issues, drop it in the comments. I will respond to it as fast as I can. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy.